When exercising, your body adapts to the stress. This adaptive response is called hypertrophy. Simply, when your muscle fibers break down, new ones replace them. The new ones are stronger and larger. Depending on your goals, you can tune your routine to favor specific growth. Higher repetitions cause more gain in mass, whereas training lower repetitions but with heavier weight increase strength. To allow your muscles to grow, you need to give your body fuel. Protein contains the building blocks needed to build and repair muscle tissue. These building blocks are called amino acids, and they repair the muscle fibers during muscle synthesis. After a while, you will progress and the weights that seemed heavy are now much easier to lift. To keep progressing, you must raise the weights. This is called progressive overload. Usually, you want to either increase the number of repetitions or the amount of weight. For example, here I'm doing a deadlift for 5 repetitions. The next week, I will do 6 reps. The week after that, I will do 7 reps. The fourth week, I will go back to 7 reps, but I will increase the weights by about 10%. We're going to begin nutrition with caloric intake. First, you want to find your basal metabolic rate. This is how much calories you burn per day without any physical activity. On top of this, you can add how much you lose from activity. Then you want to find out if you want to lose weight, you want to be in a calorie deficit. If you want to gain weight, you need to be in a calorie surplus, which simply means that for a calorie deficit, you eat less than you burn, so you're going to be burning off your physical calories. Usually you want to be in negative 500 calories per day. To gain weight, on the other hand, you want to be eating more than you burn, and you want to be in positive 500 calories. And if you want to maintain, you want to be approximately eating the same as you burn. Afterwards, you need to factor in that you need to stay healthy, and 500 is a perfect number as you're not going to be losing too much, but you're still going to lose a considerable amount that you won't be getting sidetracked or give up. So the body is like a machine, and to operate, it needs fuel. To optimize your training, you better give your body the right nutrients. In this case, the fuel is calories. Calories are made up of macronutrients. Some macronutrients are protein, carbohydrates, and fats. Everyone needs different macros based on their body and their goals. Here's how to figure out your optimal daily macro intake. To build muscle, you usually want an extremely high protein diet. So the first macro we're going to look at is protein. A good rule of thumb is to take 2 grams of protein per kg of body fat. This varies, so if you're heavier and then older, you want to go higher. If you're younger and lighter, you don't want to go lower, so maybe 1.75. If you're heavier, maybe 2.25. The amount of fat and carbohydrates depend a lot on your diet, what works best for you, your activity levels, your goals. So we recommend going for 45 to 65% of your calories from carbohydrates, and then 20 to 35% from fats, the rest from protein. And from there you can look at what works for you and tweak percentages a little bit, and then over a long period of time you will find what works best for you, and you can stick to it or just change it depending on how you age and how your body changes. It is impossible to find a diet that works for everyone. So this part of the video, we focused on averages and what worked best for me personally. So take this part of the video with a grain of salt and consult a nutritionist to find the diet that works best for you. Volume in this case is the number of repetitions multiplied by the number of sets. Intensity, on the other hand, is how hard you're working, which is measured on a scale of 1 to 10 called RPE. Rate of perceived exertion. Take walking for example. The distance you walk is your volume. Walking on flat ground would be low intensity, and walking up a steep hill would be high intensity, even though the distance may be the same. When training for muscle growth, volume is the most important factor. Keeping a high volume without overworking is key. Around 10 sets per muscle group per week is a recommended volume, and about 10 to 12 reps per set. For strength gains, on the other hand, high intensity is most important, so focusing more on your RPE rather than your volume. Lifting heavy weights with less repetitions works best here. Frequency in this case is the amount of times you will work each muscle group per week. You want to find the right balance of rest and training. So you want to work your muscles as often as possible while still giving them enough rest to recover and avoid injury. You should give your muscles about 48 hours of rest after working them. So you shouldn't work any muscle group more than 3 times a week. And once a week would not be optimal as well. So you should aim to train each muscle group 2 to 3 times a week. As we aren't doing any cardiovascular training, we should be taking rest between each of our sets. This ensures that we do not lose any strength or endurance for the remaining of our sets. For lightweight exercise or isolation movement, we should aim for about 2 minutes of rest between each set. For heavyweight exercise or compound movement, we should aim for about 3 to 5 minutes of rest between each of our sets to make sure that we can still produce force. Finally, we look at rest. Believe it or not, your muscles are built during your rest days, so you should treat them as you treat your training days. As we have covered, 48 hours of rest is needed after a workout. Any less would just be risky. Good sleep is crucial, and 8 or less hours is recommended. To speed up your recovery, you can try some techniques like cryotherapy or massage. Here I'm doing some dynamic stretching with an elastic band, but some static stretching after a workout does work really well as well.